And we are back. For our first guest tonight, we are honored to have none other than the mayor of Biloxi himself. Please give a warm weekly show welcome to Biloxi Mayor Andrew Fofo Gilich. Welcome to the show. Firstly, your nickname. How'd you get your nickname?
Well, I had two older brothers that would read to me, and I'm 1 or 2 years old, and the part in Jack and the Beanstalk, feet by Fofo, I smell the blood of an Englishman. So that whole day I'd run around Fofo, so they hung that nickname on me and stayed with me.
And it stuck all the way to now.
All the way. In Biloxi, everybody has a nickname, so that was a good one.
Now, for people who don't know as much about you, can you tell us a little bit about your background and
Well, yeah, my grandparents came, immigrants from Croatia, Yugoslavia, actually as part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire at the time, 1903, when they hit here. And, the seafood industry was on the rise, and the Croatians and the different groups, were part of, from the labor, then as well as the fishermen, and then now the canneries, and now it's casinos. But, it was a part of that Biloxi scene. And, I had a tremendous amount of cousins and aunts and uncles, and here we are. I'm leading the city where, it started for us. And so it's just a tremendous honor for me, to be here as mayor and just, setting up the next generations, our kids and grandkids. So, my 3 children and 4 grandchildren, they're all here within, reaching distance. So I'm real pleased to be here.
Well, we appreciate you being here, especially here in the Saenger. Now, you had your inauguration here, correct?
I did. Yeah, just the scene, right? It's just beautiful. I hope you take some pictures of it. Yeah, in 2017, it was, it being challenged by weather and some of these other things, even through Katrina. But you just look at this field here. I mean, none, like no other. It's a jewel. It's what's called a gem of, of the South, and so we're real pleased, and I'm just loving being here.
Now, you could have had your inauguration in a lot of places. I mean, there's a lot of, with the casinos and everything, there's a lot of fancy places you could have gone. Why did you want to have your inauguration here?
Well, we know, like you said, you got to expose it. You see it, you feel it. You feel, how cool it is. This place is really cool. And it has, just from 1929, I believe, and it was built, for the talking pictures. And I can't remember which the first one was, but I remember the last one, I saw the Sting here in the theater. But this was the Cadillac of theaters. There were a lot of theaters, as they're called, picture shows that we go to, walk to. But this was the place, and it still is the place.
Now, restoring Howard Avenue was kind of a piece of that puzzle.
Yeah.
And so, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Howard Avenue was in some of the pictures and some of the photographs you see from the 40s, in the 50s, it was sort of a dance floor. In 1941, Keesler Field, at the time now Keesler Air Force Base, jumped the population of Biloxi from about 14,000 to over 100,000 people. Now, this was downtown, and there were entertainment of every kind, bar rooms and I'd say gambling parlors and pool halls, and just it was such a cool space. But it was around Howard Avenue and traffic on Howard Avenue. You could see each decade of what kind of cars were on the street and what kind of parades, and that's what I think is going to come back. You look at Broadway in Nashville and some of those things. So that's what's what we're trying to not recapture, but just we have a history.
So kind of like a Dauphin Street Mobile or a Palafox Street in Pensacola, or I don't want to necessarily say Canal in New Orleans, but a little bit of that.
Right, little Magazine Street kind of New Orleans.
There you go.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a similar kind of setup. It's not, we're our own thing, and we're trying to. A lot of folks, we have a natural market. People want to go see where they've been stationed, for 75 years ago, and. So it's a great challenge, but it's fun. I'll tell you.
And if you fill seats in here, then there's going to be people going to restaurants either before or after shows. That's going to increase.
Right. The baseball stadium, and that was all part of the general idea that we're going to create that energy, that synergy that will come, and having some people who would in apartments and condos and those kinds of things. That's we've got about $54 million in things that are cooking right now, and that are to be delivered by the district. And Lee Young and his group started this with the Barks building right next door, and it's coming. I mean, it really is a challenge just to keep up with what people are wanting to do.
Now,
it's a good thing.
Aside from the Saenger, since we've got the opportunity, is there anything else as far as initiatives that you've got going on in your office that you'd like to share with some of our viewers?
Well, we've just awarded from Go Mesa money, which is the Gulf of Mexico Oil Exploration Security Act. Go Mesa, you might hear that. But we were awarded about $6 million to put in the waterfront, the boardwalk. You see some places where there's 10-foot boardwalk, and it will be this 2 phases, one on Back Bay where the state office building is. So we're going to build a boardwalk so people can walk and enjoy and touch the water and smell the water and smell and see those kinds of things. But 2 projects that have been funded, and it would be from Oak Street to the small craft harbor with that sort of, that 10-foot boardwalk and knee wall. So a lot of things happening.
Mayor, thank you so much for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Andrew Fofo Gilich.
Just Fofo. Thank you.
Fofo it is.